What's going on, y'all? It's Brendan Dzwierzynski here from the Sports on 580 crew and live from Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, where tonight on a rainy, dreary night outside, it was all sunshine and rainbows for the Jayhawks on the inside as KU knocks off North Dakota State 82-59. The Jayhawks now 2-0 to start the year. North Dakota State, for what it's worth, is 0-2 with a couple of tough losses to Arkansas and out of Kansas as well. And this game started about as well as you could possibly hope for if you were a Kansas Jayhawks fan or a member of the Kansas squad. A 29-point lead at halftime as they were able to essentially put the game away before the break, and then it was out of reach by the time we got to the second half of this one. In particular, a huge Wilson, who ends up just 2 points shy of tying his career high. He ends up with 21 points on 8 of 17 shooting, went 3 out of 6 from three-point range in the contest, knocked down both of his free throws, added in 9 rebounds, all around a tremendous game for Wilson. During the post-game as well, some of his teammates, it was an entire freshman class group that spoke to the media following the game. But Grady Dick said, hey, that is the guy who we all look up to. MJ Rice even called him the OG of this Kansas team. And they said, hey, when it's essentially a when he goes, we go kind of situation. They want him to be aggressive. Acting head coach Norm Roberts said the same thing. Well, Wilson was certainly aggressive tonight, and it paid dividends for KU as he comes away with the game high. He's now averaging 20 points per contest through these first 2 games of the season. A great sign for the senior forward for the Jayhawks. 2 other double-figure scorers in this one, both from that vaunted KU freshman class. That includes 12 points from Grady Dick. Not quite as efficient shooting the ball as he was in his career opener this past Monday night in the win over Omaha, but he did finish with 12 points on 5 of 11 shooting, added in 6 rebounds as well, played some good physical ball underneath the basket rebounding as well as on the defensive end. And MJ Rice in his KU debut, he did not play on Monday against Omaha due to a lingering, what he called minor back issue, but he finishes on Thursday night 5 of 10 from the floor, 10 points in the game, had 4 rebounds, did also have 2 assists in the contest as well. A very strong start to the career for MJ Rice, a player who has had a lot of fanfare and adulation poured on him for quite some time. Ended up with a couple of lob finishes as well. A really nice all-around game for MJ Rice. And really, you could say that about the entire KU offensive attack in this contest. They ended the game with just those 3 players who scored in double figures and only 1 player who got above 12 points. That was Wilson's 21. But in the contest, 6 different Jayhawks scored at least 6 points and 5 scored at least 8 points. And those other 8-point scorers, a couple of pretty important ones. Joseph Yesufu, who tied the second most points he's ever had in a game since transferring from Drake to Kansas. Great to see him playing with more confidence, even knocked down a pair of 3-pointers in the game. Just the second time he's ever done that for KU. And also another 8 points for Ernest Uday, who just does nothing, it seems, but catch and jam home lobs. But that has been an extremely effective tactic for the KU offensive attack so far to start off this 2022-2023 season. A couple other stats for you before we get out of here tonight. KU shot just under 50% from the game, 48.6% from the floor, and 35% from three-point range, although that was as high as 50% in the first half. Meanwhile, North Dakota State really struggled shooting the ball in this one, just 36.2%, 21 out of 58. And they shot 28% from three-point range for a team that, frankly, just does not shoot the three-pointer all that well. Nobody entered this game from last year's North Dakota squad that shot better than 34% from three-point range. That'll just about do it here from Allen Fieldhouse then, as the staff is cleaning things up. So we've got to get out of here. Next up for KU, they will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, coming up on Tuesday next week for the Champions Classic and a matchup with the 7th-ranked Duke Blue Devils, so a battle of top 10 teams coming up next week. But until then, one more time from Allen Fieldhouse, it's the Kansas Jayhawks 82 and the North Dakota State Bison 59. For the Sports on 580 crew, I'm Brendan Dzwierzynski.